Welcome everybody. In today's video, we'll be taking a look at a very unique knife from Kershaw. Been a while. I don't think I've ever had a Kershaw knife on the channel, but I had seen this going around a little bit and I thought I had to check it out. I'm loving this knife, despite what some people say is good or bad about it. This knife is one of my top 3 knives now. I love this knife. And it is the KERSHAW Culpepper. And just a quick comparison, when I got the knife in the mail, it was shining like this penny here. It was flashing the light back and super shiny. And I knew I was going to do this. I got it because of the copper. But it has started to patina so well already. Just 1 week of carrying it. It's toned down some. It is wonderful. And it's not too heavy for a hunk of copper. I mean, it's a weight in your pocket, but it's not like a, encumbering weight of any sort. Maybe don't wear very light material pants or gym shorts with it, but, normal pants to the belt or something, this will be fine. And this knife has been wonderful to carry. I have loved this knife since day one. And I am on, you know me, I love my one-handed button lock, super ball bearing knives. These things are fantastic. I love them a lot. But I've also been on a bit of a Barlow kick lately. I've had this knife for a while. Some of you may remember seeing this knife on the channel. This is the Rough Rider Granddaddy Barlow, and this has been a much carried knife lately in the last few months. Wonderful knife. But I saw the KERSHAW Culpepper, and I saw that it was a little shorter than the Rough Rider, and I love the size of the Rough Rider. But, the KERSHAW could be a little bit more discreet and, funner to carry in some aspects. So I got it, and I threw the leather lanyard on it, 10 minutes after getting it out of the box. Because I like to have just a little bit of something. That's something else. It has a lanyard hole in the side that you can stick paracord through real easy if you wanted to do paracord, but I do leather. Paracord lanyard hole, this knife doesn't have a lanyard hole. It's a little bit of a downside to me, but not a big make or break deal here. But this large pronounced clip point, D2 steel, box sling, sharp out of the box. You may not be able to see it right now, but I can see the pin in the scale here. I don't know if that's really showing up for you, but it is there. I'm getting a little off center camera there. Sorry about that. But I don't think you can disassemble it, which is kind of confusing as to why they have the screws here, but I don't know. Another reason why I got the copper is if the scales are just that nice thick slab of copper, you're not going to be able to bend that. Whereas the Rough Rider, if you really stress on it, which you really shouldn't do with the knife, but you can kind of feel just a little bit of give in the brass liners, because it's just liners. And I love this. I love the sturdiness of the copper. And this isn't my first copper knife either. I have gotten the Rough Rider Apta from, I believe it was Zachariah Ott. Shout out to him. Go check him out on Instagram. I'll try to put a link to his Instagram down below. But I got this copper knife a while back, carried it a fair bit, loved it. The handle shape is a little weird for me. I don't like it too funky, but it's just not funky in the wrong ways and good funky in the right ways and bad funky. It's hard to explain. I'm very picky about my knife shapes, but again, this is a very, very pleasant knife to carry. I love this thing. It's a Rough Rider. The half stop is nice, which this does not have. That's okay though. But this knife has been fun to carry. Fun little hunk of copper in your pocket, But this is a little bit more refined, dignified hunk of copper in your pocket. And the blade, like I said, box sling, sharp, hair popping sharp out of the box. Good, double groove here. Excuse me, burp's coming. Excuse me. We got a little bit of a swedge. Got jimping that is just the right amount of jimp. Excuse me. My voice going all over the place today. Jimping that is just the right amount of jimping. on the back here. Like, this knife is just superb, and it's a throwback to a traditional day and age of slip joints that were common. Like, before the Buck 110, you had the Barlows, like the Granddaddy Barlows, like this guy here, and other slip joints and stuff. Like, knives evolved over time, and this is just a good harkening back to, like, something a hobo would have carried back in the turn of the century going into the 1900s or something, you know? Excluding the copper. It would have probably been more of a wood or bone scale with a brass bolster. Copper's kind of the more modern tweak to a knife, but, you know, the essence of a traditional old-fashioned pocket knife, you know. And it's got good, strong pull out of the knife here. Like, that is great. People complain about this pull being bad, but you can pop it up to like about here before it actually holds. Like, you're going to feel that giving before it, you know, starts becoming a danger to your fingers. And I don't think the light pull is that light that it's going to be a dangerous knife. You know, that's a very good spring there that pulls that blade back. I don't see an issue with that right off the bat. But you know, this is like the strongest part of the pull right here is trying to pull that out. But that's not bad. Like, you're not going to bust a fingernail getting that out. The one thing that does kind of annoy me is that when closed, I don't know if you can see it. Let the camera stop shaking. But you can kind of wiggle the knife blade when closed. You cannot wiggle it when it's open. There's no side to side, no up or down play until you like pop the slip joint there. But there's like no wiggle when it's open, and no wiggle like this coming out. Like I said, that's going to hold it down. Just the slightest little bit of side to side that is just a little annoying for me, but everything else is so good. I'm just loving it. This thing is fantastic. It runs about 40 bucks on SMKW. I recommend checking one out. Like, these things are really, really nice. The copper, I think, is going to patina well. If you could disassemble it, which I don't think you could, or if you were just like that skilled at just like covering everything else aside from the copper, imagine what a shipwrecked copper scale would look like on this knife. That would look delightful. But I just thought I'd ramble on a little bit about this little kick of mine. It's mostly a review of this knife, but like I said, I've been on a Barlow kick lately. I love the look of a good Barlow. I don't really like the California clip Barlows. I've seen a couple going around where the clip is like way back here and starts out like, I hate that. I love it closer past the halfway point of the blade to start dipping down. Like, that is just about perfect for me on where to start doing the clip. And I have carried this knife. I've got big hands. This is a 6-finger grip knife. This sucker's huge. I love this knife. I've been doing food prep with it, everyday carry, cutting tasks. Like, this sucker has been fantastic. Love it. Would like to see the bolster a little bit longer to kind of grab the essence of a Barlow, but that's fine. I love it. The buckshot bone is delightful. I love it. But the copper, man, this copper has gone up, and this knife is probably my top third, number 3 knife. There's a couple knives I like better, but that knife right there, like, man, I'm starting to get a little bit of scratches on the blade from cutting and stuff. This thing has been so good. So good to carry. I am just absolutely loving it. So, thank you for listening to me ramble and rant on this knife a little bit. I hope you heard what you needed to hear about this knife. I think the D2 crash course, 40 bucks, give or take a little bit depending on when you buy it. They do sell a double detent version instead of the slip joint. I might check that out down the road. D2 blade steel, copper handles, still a spring liner on the back. Just all around good. It's not too heavy. It's no light. It's no feather in your pocket, but it's definitely no 10-pound dumbbell either. This thing is delightful. I love it. If you've been considering checking one out, I recommend that you do so. So, with all that rambling aside, thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, please consider hitting the like button. Don't have to subscribe. Just hit the like button. Help spread the channel around. Hope you found it useful and informational. Hope it helps you build your EDC to your standards. And until the next time, farewell. carry well, and a bye-bye.